They told the Iraqi citizens, we are in the process of adding a mechanism to add purchasing power to your currency. Sudani constantly kept talking about it in November and December last year. I promise I'm going to do it. I promise you'll have more purchasing power than the dollar. He actually kept his promise because there is no dollars in the country of Iraq. The only currency in Iraq right now is the Iraqi dinar. It has more value than the American dollar that has zero value inside of Iraq, therefore the Iraqi dinar now seeks a door. The cash cow is seriously coming to an end. We already saw that the black market / parallel market / dollar auctions their bye-bye. It's true. It's in writing. Those that are out there suggesting that it wasn't going to happen, it already did. The House of Representatives votes to amend the passport law and extend the work of the Election Commission. If you read deeper in the article, it states the second reading of the budget law was successful. We did indeed have the second reading today. At the present time, January 2025, the Central Bank of Iraq has severe limitations on trading the IQD on the markets. We are not sure if the limitations are because of US sanctions, the Islamic faith, or both. One of the fundamental tenets of Islamic finance is the prohibition of ghurr, or excessive uncertainty, and maysire, or gambling, both of which are deemed detrimental to individual and societal well-being. The foreign exchange market presents a challenging ethical dilemma for Muslims. While forex trading is a legitimate global financial practice, its nature and mechanisms often raise questions. Gambling, or maysire, is unequivocally prohibited in Islam. However, some scholars suggest forex trading can be permissible if conducted in a manner that avoids speculation, interest, and excessive risk. Enhance integration into the national and global banking markets. That's why this is waiting for the rate to change. You have to have an internationally convertible recognized currency first, then they can get into the global banking market. We have security and stability in order to introduce the new exchange rate that Dr. Shabibi and the US Treasury have been protecting for a long time. There are no more CBI auctions. It is now called remittance. Just like the American banks do, the CBI is now functioning exactly like international banks, exactly like American banks. Question: what is your gut feeling, Mark? Marks: my gut is screaming sometime between now and Jan 22. Just a guess. CBI Tower and Grand Four-Port ranked among world's to mega projects for 2025. There are a couple of mega projects already taking place in Iraq somehow, someway with the currency exchange rate. Congrats to Iraq and their CBI Tower and the Grand Four-Port ranked among the top meg projects in 2025. I know the tower is almost completed and the Port of Four is partially open already. This is moving right along, and they did it with a current exchange rate. There is no contract rate except for the people who have pre-2011 private purchase contracts. If you do not have such a contract, you will not get a contract rate. Contract rates are not paid by banks but rather by the contractor. This is dinar mythology, and there exists no proof of any such contract rate. If you want to go into the bank and sound like an idiot, then be my guest. Everyone will get exactly the same rate due to the law of one price. This can be verified. You must ask yourself how you might get a contract rate without a contract. However, the banks may well have varying rates on the exchange fee, but that is generally around 2%. In my view, this reeks of a need to change the exchange rate for the Iraqi dinar, or they would have already done it. If they're going to an international state, they should have already done it by now. If it was going to stay the same exchange rate, everybody that's been involved with the dinar should ask, well, they've been at 1,310 for a year or more, why haven't you done it yet? That's because they're looking for an exchange rate change, because that's what's going to happen. The House of Representatives completes the second reading of the draft amendment to the budget law. Quote, the Council of Representatives concluded, in its session today, Monday, the second reading report and discussion of the draft law of the First Amendment to the Federal General Budget Law of the Republic of Iraq for the fiscal years 2023 to 2024, 2025, No. 13, of 2023. Everything is moving extremely fast. When we reach this 1000 to 1, you know how quickly they can lift those 3 zeros. Snap, like that. Pushing a button and now you're 1 to 1, float it. Start at 1 to 1 and see where it goes from there. Everything is moving so fast because de-dollarization. Al Nusayri explains the new mechanism for external transfers after the platform is closed. The best part of the article is the CBI is telling us that this new strategy is normal, and is working so far. I quote, "This means that the central bank has achieved a basic objective of monetary policy." The head of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, Atwan al-Atwani, confirmed today, Monday, that the 2025 budget's priorities include securing salaries and governing expenses. Al-Atwani's office stated in a statement received by Al-Maluma Agency, the latter chaired an expanded meeting of the Parliamentary Finance Committee with the senior staff in the Ministry of Finance to review and discuss a number of financial files and issues. He hosted the directors of accounting, budget and public debt in the Ministry of Finance, files on the size of spending and available liquidity, the problem of delayed financing, and the percentage of the budget deficit. He added, "The meeting discussed the financial situation in the country and ways to overcome the challenges facing the country's financial policy, the latest preparations for preparing the 2025 budget schedules, and the mechanisms and plans to ensure the financing of salaries and governing expenses during this year." He pointed out that the meeting reviewed the file of the external and internal public debt, where the size of the debt was reviewed, whether inherited from the time of the former regime, or that which was resorted to after 2003 through external and internal loans, and the mechanisms of its repayment schedule, in addition to the measures taken to amend Iraq's credit rating. Al-Atwani added, "The main goal of the 3-year budget was to solve the financing problems, but the condition of the availability of financial liquidity before contracting took us back to square one, and we took the path of positive integration with the executive authority with the aim of enabling it to implement the paragraphs of its government program." He added, "The 2025 budget's priorities include securing salaries, governing expenses, and everything that affects citizens' lives. The Ministry of Finance must have sound plans and programs to manage financial policy in a way that achieves sustainable development." Member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, Jamal Cocker, confirmed today, Monday, that the restructuring of Rafidain and Rashid banks is a decisive step to improve Iraq's financial situation and enhance its position in the global financial system. Cocker told Al Furat news agency restructuring the banks is very important and has many positives, as these banks have not been reviewed for many years. These measures will contribute to consolidating the national economy, and addressing some of the errors that may exist in the current financial system.